So on the first thing on the news, we are talking eggs.
Eggs?
Yes, eggs, because it's really interesting. Over in Victoria, which Victoria is actually the third largest egg producing state in Australia, there's been a bunch of cases now of bird flu going around.
Oh, right.
So all this disease is going around, obviously very dangerous. So with that in consideration and Victoria, pumping out all these eggs across the country, Coles have actually limited everyone to 2 cartons of eggs. That's it.
2 cartons of eggs per person.
So there's a cap on it. Which I feel like I've never heard of before, but yeah, so there's a cap on the eggs at the moment at Coles.
There's an egg shortage, right? Have prices gone up on eggs as well then?
I'm not too sure about the prices, just the cap at the moment. But Woolworths is not doing it, so they've got free range on all the eggs you can have.
All the eggs you can hold.
Loot up, everyone. It's the apocalypse. And as well, in SA News, Premier Liao Quang, he is pretty much the right-hand man to the president in China.
Yeah.
So he's one of the big dogs over there. He is coming over to Australia, and a part of one of his legs over here is going to Adelaide to assess Wang Wang and Funi what they're going to do with Wang Wang and Funi here.
Yeah, okay.
So the idea is that their expiry date where they were going to be shipped back, considering they've been here since 2009.
It's been a long time.
Ages.
Yeah.
It was going to be this year they go back, so they're assessing whether they stay or whether we get replacement pandas. So we might get some new pandas on the block here.
There you go. Hey, Callum, turning to sport, of course, AFL round, it was Big Freeze 10, the 10th year of doing the fight for M&D for Neil Danaher and his family. They were looking to raise $3 million yesterday, and it's currently sitting just over $2.8 million. So you can donate now from fightmnd.org.au. Get yourself a beanie, support the cause. Of course, in other news as well, Formula One, the Canadian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen has taken the win there with, in second place, we have Lando Norris, and in third place, George Russell.
Jeez, Max is unreal, isn't he?
Yeah, he won by nearly 4-second gap as well,
huge.
So it's a big win.
Doesn't seem like a lot, but in racing, that's a hell of... Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
Especially in the F1s, yeah. You're with Tom Callum, that's your news from the weekend. To all the rats out there, time to listen up. It's our time to shine. If you've ever been compared to a rat in any way, shape or form, it's time to start considering that a compliment. Because last year, Callum, we kept hearing about the golden retriever boyfriends. You know, the people with just happy energy, always smiling. They're out. What is in is rodent men.
Rodent men, okay, because it is interesting. You say the golden retriever thing, there's little crazes, little phases. You got the dad bod, stuff like that.
Yep.
So there's things that sweep the nation and say, hey, this is actually an attractive feature.
Yeah, so rodent men, basically it is just men with certain physical features that mirror rat-like qualities. So think Jeremy Allen White from The Bear and Shameless.
Yep.
Rat. Think Maddie Healy, lead singer of the 1975.
Total rat.
Rat. Think Timothy Chalamet. Rat. These are all rat men who are at the prime of their rattiness.
You don't think Chalamet's a rat? Think again. So, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of celebrities coming in the forefront of this posting of people saying, hey, they've got, a bit of a pointy nose, kind of those sort of features, but hey, it is an attractive thing now.
Yeah, and here's what I'm thinking, right? End of the day, rats aren't cute or good looking. This isn't going to last. I feel like this is a real slim window. So if you are a bit of a rat boy, make sure you get out there and take full advantage while rat boys are in, because it's not going to be long.
How many times have you shown your ID and it's got Roddy from Flushed Away on it? You're like, it's me, guys. That's how you get into nightclubs now. Express entry. I'm the rat from Flushed Away.
It's all in person.
Yeah.
No, we want to put this to the test. We want to see if rat boys are truly in. So it's time for you, Adelaide, to give us a buzz. We'll give you a famous rat just like Roddy from Flushed Away, and we'll see where they stand. We want to rate the rat. We're going to kick things off over in Aberfoyle Park. We've got Amanda on the line. Amanda, good morning. How you going?
Good morning, boys. How are you?
Really good. Now, Amanda, straight off the bat, do you sort of think that it's true, the rat theory, that rodent-looking men are attractive?
Personally, I don't, but I definitely have a lot of friends who date men that look like rodents, I will say.
All right. Well, we'll give you some famous rats, and you let us know what you think of them. Scale of 1 to 10. Give them a rate. First rat we're going to go with Master Splinter, the one that adopted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, taught them everything they knew.
Oh, I think probably like a 7.
7, all right.
7.
Bit of an
Pretty high for
bit of an older gentleman as well.
Yeah. All right, Amanda, we know what you're into. Hey.
What is it about Splinter that you get around?
I think it is like that he's a bit older. I'm kind of into that.
His mentorship and calmness around the turtles.
All right, Amanda, we'll give you one more rat to rate while you're here. We'll give you this one, Peter Pettigrew, or Scabbers from the Harry Potter series. Ron's rat.
I'm not into it. Probably like a 3 out of 10, I would say.
Yeah, he's not a good one. Hey, and that's as a human when he transforms and also in the rat, figure.
Nah, fair call. I would have given him a 1, though.
Hey, Izzy in Brighton, tell us, are you all for the rat theory? Do you think rodent men are hot?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's put it to the test. First one we got here. Let's do Remy from Ratatouille.
Got a great nose.
Great cook.
I reckon 8 or 9. I like a big nose on a man.
Cool.
8 or
So
9.
it's the big nose. Is there
Big
anything
nose.
else about Remy?
Like Callum said, he's a good cook. He knows how to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
There are a lot of pros coming with Remy from Ratatouille. How about Speedy Gonzalez? Now I know he's technically a mouse, but they're fairly similar. They've got similar looks, physical attributes. Speedy Gonzalez from Looney Tunes.
I'd probably go with 7 or 8 again.
7 or 8, yeah. Do you reckon it's because of the accent? You'll fall for his Spanish lingo?
I'd be worried he'd be too quick.
Too
wouldn't
quick?
you? Hey, one thing I find really cringe and really don't enjoy are those random internet trends that pop up every now and then. And there's all different sorts, You've got the TikTok dances, don't get around them.
Yep.
You've got the classic ones where it's like, if you're a man, you can't put your hand on your right shoulder and squat and get up.
Yeah. That was one that actually circulated around Fresh here for a bit. We have a video on the Instagram. I can tell you all now to debunk it. It's fake.
It's completely fake.
It's fake.
You can absolutely do it.
I think if you find that video, I actually do fall over on purpose to, keep the gimmick up a bit.
Yeah.
But, it's stupid. You see them all the time, and they're so popular, these things.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. A lot of them are just complete bull. So the other day, I'm in my room. I'm over the weekend just playing a bit of PlayStation, hanging out, And I get this call down to the lounge room from my dad. And he's like, come here, I need to test something on you. And I thought he had another question about technology.
Yeah.
But he shows me this video, and I'm like, okay, cool. And as I'm start to walk back to my room, he's like, no, try it. I'm like, what? And he's like, I want you to do it.
So has he tried it himself without you looking while you're down?
He's already done it. And it's like, so the thing was, put your hands on each of your shoulders, close your eyes, and then stand on one foot and then see how long you can balance. And that shows you how old you are according to your balance.
Right. So if you're more than 10 seconds, then, you're a 20-year-old or something.
No, I think 10 seconds was 55 years old. It was you had to get into the 30s to even get close to our age.
Yeah, okay. So it would have been a weird sight for anyone watching. Was your mum around having a suss of your dad giving us a crack?
There was a whole audience there watching. There was my dog. There was my mum.
Everyone
my dad.
Chanting, Phil, as he's standing there cracking on that 30-second mark.
Mr. Miyagi. So he did his. I didn't see it. He claimed he did his and did 15 seconds.
I think that's insane that he just claimed it and didn't do it in front of you. I want to see footage of this.
To be honest, I wanted to get out of there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So no, I'm doing it. I'm standing there trying it. I'm wobbling a little bit. It's actually pretty tough. And I think I got 15 seconds. I just beat him by a couple of seconds. Oh yeah, well you beat me, but you should have. Your age is 50. I'm like, that's it. They're not real, Dad.
It's scientifically binding. Tom, it's always weird when you find out a celebrity has a strange habit, and it's always the celebrities, right? They do something weird. It's always behind closed doors.
Yeah, because they have to be different.
Yeah, you sleep upside down naked.
That was a private conversation.
One of those little D-grade celebrity tidbits if you want to know about Tom's life. But
I've always admired Batman.
Yeah. And it's hot,
Yeah.
Hot nights. But, it's really funny. Ed Sheeran has come out to say this is something that he does. And pretty much it's a bit of an odd one. Since 2015, he hasn't used a phone.
He hasn't used a phone. So hasn't owned one.
Hasn't owned one. Doesn't even have a number, the guy.
What, just see him out in the public at payphones if he needs to make a call?
I just assume that, because he's so big, maybe everywhere he goes, he kind of always has someone with him that would have a phone.
Yeah.
Or like an assistant or, just someone, a traveling tour person, right?
I just don't understand how you could live without a phone, though.
No.
Right? I understand that, people definitely take phones for granted and people are on their phones too
much.
often at the moment, but not having one seems like an impossible way to live.
It seems like a weird thing that he doesn't have a number either, that he's just purely off the grid.
Yeah.
And what happens, when he does go on tour and he decides to go to a bar or something and he's alone?
He has to transfer money over.
What's he doing? Calling his mum on a payphone or something? How does Ed Sheeran get around?
Can I borrow 20p?
But it is interesting, and not having a phone is one of those big sort of weird habits, something that you can live without. I did it for a bit. I mean, I had a phone, but it wasn't a smartphone. I had a Nokia thing I was rolling around with, and it was always so funny. As soon as I got it, I thought, wow, this is refreshing. I'm barely on my phone, but then you go to get a ride share or something like that, or an emergency kind of thing, you're screwed. So it is baffling that he doesn't use a phone. So we do want to know, what do you live without it?
I just don't understand how you could live without a phone.
The phone is a huge one.
I'm still baffled by it.
You do hear about people that live without big appliances in their house, right? I know someone who didn't have a microwave, which is insane to me. I mean, it's just so quick, easy, chuck something in there. But there's all ones like that in the kitchen. TV is a big one when you find out someone doesn't have a TV.
We know someone who their oven broke 2 years ago and they still haven't got it replaced. So they've just gone without an oven for 2 years.
Which is insane to me because I love, frozen pizzas. Yeah. It's a quick, easy delight. So how would you live without an oven?
Give us a buzz now, Adelaide. What do you live without? Plenty of people getting involved on the text line as well, Callum.
Yep.
Somebody's texted through here saying, "G'day boys, I've lived without a sheet in my bed for the last 5 years. A quilt is all you need."
Wow, that's gross. I wish this person would decide to not use a phone like Ed Sheeran to text in this kind of gross stuff to us and maybe invest in some bed sheets. Do a swap around. I got this one here. I don't believe in underwear, just another unnecessary layer. So I haven't worn any since I was a kid. I'm 36 now. Crazy.
Not
Crazy.
about that one either.
Permanently commando.
Another text here. Morning, fellas. I lived without cutlery for my first 2 years out of home. Would load up on wooden and plastic utensils at restaurants so I could save money.
Well, you're just going one place at a time through the food court, swipe in the bamboo forks. It's insane.
Cutlery can't be that expensive.
Just get some,
Sacrifice
surely.
one night out.
Yeah,
Or
get a permanent, get a pair of chopsticks that you just have all the time on your handy.
You only need one fork and knife as well.
Exactly right. To be fair, you're living by yourself. You're not cleaning for other people. This one here, I live without a proper shower because the renos kept getting pushed back. So I was in one of those outdoor showers for a whole year. Jeez, they are kind of nice and really warm, but I wouldn't want to do a whole year of it.
No. Hey, let's head over to Glengarry. We got Louise on the line. Louise, what did you live without?
My partner and I didn't have phones for many years.
Yep. Right.
But we used to have we had this freaky connection where we just knew what each other kind of needed at the time.
Right.
And a good example was he used to work in a mechanic workshop with a whole bunch of guys. I went down there and I was sent down to Hungry Jack's with a whole bunch of orders. And while I was on the way, I had a funny feeling to get my partner an extra cheeseburger, an extra sundae, and an extra thick shake. And when I was gone, I didn't realise he'd said to his friends, "Oh, I should have got her to get an extra cheeseburger, an extra sundae, and a thick shake." I came back with that exact thing and said, "I had a funny feeling." And the guys just went, "How do you guys do it?" And it's like, well, you just learn to you learn to live without something, and I guess it just and partners connect anyway in a freaky way. But yeah, so that's how we used to do it, and right down to the point where I would know what he wanted for dinner. At dinner time, it was just one of those freaky things.
Yeah, right.
So your husband has the shining ability and just beams you, "Oh, I want a chicken schnitzel roll," and it goes into your head and you're like, okay, I can sense it.
It sounds like something from a sci-fi, I know. But no,
That's
believe
crazy.
me, it's true. We didn't actually get phones till I was about a week away from having my first child. Then we finally decided, okay, maybe it's time we get phones. But for many years, we didn't. And people used to always say, it's so hard to get hold of you guys. Like, well, if we're not home, we're not home. You know?
Yeah, geez. I mean, it sounds like Louise is just elevated to another level, a higher level.
Yeah, how do you get
higher
that?
living?
Oh, if I could just, send my order to the waiter without even talking to them and save the awkwardness, that'd be great.
yeah. Don't have to get up from the table. Hey, Cara in Glenelg North, what do you live without?
I don't have TikTok or Instagram because I can't work it. I don't understand it.
Fair enough. So is it just a bit painful to use, or you just can't be bothered? Don't like what's on it?
Scared of getting addicted?
No, genuinely, I look at the screen and I'll go, I don't understand what any of this does, or how to work it, or how to get to the next screen.
Do you have other mates?
And then I get all my friends looking at me. Yeah. All my friends look at me like I'm an absolute idiot.
Yeah, because I feel like you have all your mates wanting to show you a video or send you something, but you're off the grid.
Yeah, they send me something and I press the button and it goes to some link and I'm like, I can't see it. Sorry.
Cara, do you have any other form of social media? Is it just TikTok and Instagram you live without?
I have Facebook and I can barely work that.
I think you only need one really, right?
yeah, you've got it covered with Facebook, I think.
Tom, if you work in hospitality, you know that on a quiet night, you start to make your own fun.
Yeah.
And if you're on the receiving end and you're a customer, you can start to notice, I guess, the worker trying to have a laugh, be a bit fun, be a bit silly. Sometimes it's not fun and it backfires, though, and it's a little bit awkward. And it's happened exactly that. I went to a restaurant a few nights ago with some mates. And straight off the bat, I could tell the waiter at this Mexican restaurant was just really hammering in the jokes.
Right. Was it a quiet night?
It was a really quiet night. There wasn't much going on. So, obviously he's whipped out his notepad.
Desperate for some human interaction.
With his stand-up notes in there, trying to be the next comedian.
What's the deal?
Yeah. He's like, come out right. And it was just consecutive one joke after the other that just wasn't funny.
Right.
To the point where I thought, mate, just get the meal. I'd love to eat and not hear.
It's called hospitality.
Your routine. Yeah, but it should be funnier. He comes, so we like go up there, right? And say, oh, can we have a table for 3? And he turns around and he says, I've got a table for 4, not a table for 3 though.
Right.
And then just stares at us.
Was it a dad? Was he just pulling out dad jokes?
Dad jokes galore. And also, not much of a punchline. The guy really missed the punchline bit. It just would stare at you into your soul until you had to say, are you joking? And he's like, yeah, I'm joking.
Come right this way.
Yeah. So he brings us over to the table. Later on, maybe 20 minutes later, the food comes out. Pretty prompt. He brings all the food out, puts all the plates in front of the people that I'm sitting with.
Yeah.
No plates for me. Literally, I've got my meal and he's given it to someone else as a gag.
Right.
I thought, that's crazy. Can you believe that?
What was going on with this guy?
Well, what's he doing? And you have to sit there and look at him and give him a little chuckle.
Yeah, so you'd force a laugh out.
Then grab my plate and eat it as I should.
Giving the stink eye from the table.
Yeah. And then the worst joke was going up to the counter. And I'm not even sure if this was a joke still. The meal was like $120.
Right.
He's punched $12,000 into the FOS machine. And then he's handed it over to me, and I think, is this a part of the gag or is he incompetent?
At least we know $12,000 wouldn't have gone through.
Yeah, where's the punchline? Laugh.
Need to have a chat about David Blaine. If you don't know who he is, he's the so-called magician. I personally think he's just a crazy man doing crazy things.
What you think is a hack?
Not a hack. I wouldn't label him a magician.
Why not? He does heaps of it. I feel like he's locked himself in ice and done all these crazy things.
Yeah, that's just doing stunts though. I've never seen the guy do a card trick.
You reckon it's the equivalent of Johnny Knoxville is less of a magician, more of a jackass?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'd fit into that crew pretty well. But no, this article about him has just surfaced. It's about one of the crazy stunts he did from the early noughties. It was one of his bigger ones, one of his more famous ones. It was when he stayed in a box for 44 days. Like he was hanging above the River Thames in London. And he was in this box for 44 days. And on paper, that doesn't sound super impressive, but the guy wasn't eating. He would survive on 4.5 litres of water every day.
See, I see what you mean in that aspect, that there's not really any magic going on there. It's just a dude starving himself in a box. Maybe he whipped out a pack of cards and did a little trick for the spectators.
I mean, it's impressive. I'm not saying it's not impressive. I wouldn't call it magic.
He was wearing a cape. It was magic.
Yeah. I mean, he's garnered heaps of attention too over in London. Like a bloke flew up a Macca's burger to try and taunt him.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I feel like the spectators would have been having an absolute laugh down there watching him.
Apparently people, when they'd go out on the town on their way home, a lot of people were taking detours just to go by him and yell some stuff up at the box.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it'd be an insane thing to see in your country for sure.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Just seeing a guy in a box for 44 days. He ended up actually losing 25% of his body weight from not eating and only drinking water for 44 days.
That's the disappearing act.
Well, yeah, unless that's the magic trick. Watch how much body weight I can lose in under 2 months.
I've lost all my weight, guys. I don't know how it happened, but it could be magic.
Once again, not magic, but it's a solid party trick.
Great party trick.
Solid party trick. And I do want to open up the text line here. Do you have a party trick, Adelaide?
I mean, obviously, it probably won't be as big or grand as, someone starving themselves for 44 days in a suspended box. But there are heaps of party tricks. I mean, one of the classic ones, our mate Andy tried to whip out a bit of magic as well, bringing out the cards once. And he brought out the cards and he did the, "Is this your card?" To which it wasn't. So it was a bit of a poor attempt at a party trick. But then other than that, you see people doing backflips, sculling a beer in 2 seconds, things like that.
I used to be able to do a front flip. Haven't tried it in years. Probably can't hear health and safety reasons, so don't even ask.
Won't try. Yeah. What about when someone whips out the impersonations? I reckon that's the lowest form of doing a party trick, when someone says, "Hey, I can do a pretty good Peter Griffin. Would you guys like to see it?"
Some great party tricks. Somebody's texted in here saying, literally seen a dude whip out the disappearing thumb trick thinking nobody had heard of it. It was the lamest thing I've ever seen. To be fair, I can't do the disappearing thumb thing.
Yeah, never got my head around that one.
I've tried it. I just, my fingers don't work that way.
My mate's dad could do it when I was a kid, but that's what I remember it from.
It was impressive nonetheless.
Can pull a whole cigarette in one drag using circular breathing. Always goes harder because everyone knows I don't smoke cigarettes either. Wow.
No wonder.
That seems like a freak show trick.
Stop doing that.
It
sounds
also
awful.
Very unhealthy.
Sounds like a quick way to end your night, really.
Definitely.
Another text here. This one is something I would actually pay money to see. They've texted saying, "G'day boys, I can get a whole chicken shazlik down my gob and pull the skewer out completely clean. There are secrets to stopping your gag reflex."
See, the crazy thing about that one is that if it involves a shazlik, it seems like it could also happen at a quaint barbecue and not an alcohol-fueled night. It could happen at your grandma's roast or something. And you just
Uncle Rob's barbecue.
You don't want to see that.
I mean, it sounds like the modern day putting a sword down your throat, but it's a chicken shazlik.
Yeah,
it's the Aussie version of it.
Definitely. This one here is nuts. I can do an impersonation of Gollum in a Scottish accent.
Sounds like you can just do a Scottish accent.
Just add a little bit of Gollum into it.
And this one here, eating a whole tub of ice cream without brain freeze.
Don't lie, you're passing out in the toilet after.
Well, it depends on how quick you're getting the ice cream down, doesn't it? If you're taking an hour to eat the tub, no wonder you're not getting brain freeze. But if you're just hounding that down, that's impressive.
To text in, surely they're hounding down and not just having little bites of it throughout the night.
I hope so.
Tom, confusing somebody is one of the funniest things, I reckon, but, not realising who it is and just giving them heaps of useless information, thinking they're one person and they're not, is just even funnier.
Yeah.
You just keep going and going. And this is what happened at the gym the other day. 2 days after the fresh birthday, on the Monday, the public holiday. Yesterday, I thought I'd go to the gym.
Right. Try and work some of the birthday off.
Really cleanse the soul after
sweat it out.
Such a big weekend, yeah. So I thought I'd go there. And there's this bloke there who I keep seeing and I think, geez, this guy, I know him. He's someone I briefly met, a few weeks ago at the pub, seen him around. I don't really have much to do with him, but very, very vaguely sort of remember him.
Right, is he just a friend of a friend or a complete random?
Kind of random, yeah, but he knows a few people I know, but it's not anything, he's vague, right?
Yeah.
But enough to talk to him. And he goes to my gym, right? So I have a look at him and I think I'll go over and actually talk to him again. It's been a while.
Sure.
So I hop over there and I say, "Hey man, how you going?" Give him the fist bump. And then he looks a bit awkward. He then turns to me.
Why fist bump?
Well, because that's what we did when I saw the guy at the pub, right? So it seemed normal. And I said, "How's your weekend?" And he said, "Great, man. I was at Rascals on the weekend." And I thought, "Oh, cool. That sounds like a great nightclub." And then I said, he was like, "How's your weekend?" I said, "Yeah, really big. Me and Tom, had a bit of a crazy one at the fresh birthday.
Yeah.
It was really good." And then I go and sit on my machine and I'm looking over at him. It's one of those double takes where I'm looking at my phone and it's all really working out. All the math symbols in my head, Sherlock Holmes style, seeing all the writing.
You're seeing the binary code. You're coming out of the matrix.
Exactly right. I'm figuring it out and I think, that's not my mate.
Oh,
that's
no.
not Chris. That's just some random bloke that owns a sandwich shop around the corner from where we work. And the fact is that the sandwich shop is called Rascals, I realise.
Oh, it's not a
nightclub. And I've been there twice, so you would have been confused as to why I said I've never been to Rascals and all my friends love it. I was just making conversation. And he would have been thinking, I've seen you there. You bought a sandwich off me twice. And also, he would have thought, who the hell's Tom? Why are you talking about Tom and your big night?
He's probably just thinking, geez, that guy's a dick.
It's just crazy, I reckon.
We're the pride of South Australia, and we're known as the Adelaide Crow. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. The West, red, white, and blue. We're from Tigerland.
Fresh footy tipping on Fresh 92.7, sponsored by Thirsty Camel.
That's it, Callum. We have $1,000 up for grabs thanks to Thirsty Camel to sort out your grand final party by playing our tipping competition to see who will finish on top. And we just coming out of round 13, which of course was a big freeze 10 years of the big freeze to fight MND due to Neil Danaher. But it was a huge round, a lot of upsets as well.
Definitely getting into, it really hasn't let down. Even round 13, it is still tense as there's some great games. Heaps going on.
Yeah, I mean, kicking things off last Thursday, obviously Adelaide taking on Richmond at Adelaide Oval. Richmond won that by 8 points. That's a bit of an upset there. Another upset here, Western Bulldogs, Brisbane Lions. Bulldogs went down by 43 points. It was Bulldogs 71 to Brisbane 114. Now, you could argue that it could have gone either way, but no one expected it to be that big of a win.
Such a landslide. I thought at least, I thought Bulldogs, to be honest, but I thought at least it would be so much closer. So for Brisbane to pull away like that, insane stuff.
And the next upset is the next game. Hawthorn taking on GWS Giants. Hawthorn got up by 6 points in the dying minutes as well of that game.
Hey, Hawthorn are pulling through quite nicely the last few weeks, actually.
They're starting to gel very well. Next upset game, West Coast Eagles taking on North Melbourne. North Melbourne get their first win of the season, winning by 9 points, beating West Coast 65 to North Melbourne's 74. Then, of course, we had St Kilda winning against Gold Coast Suns by 3 points. Sydney absolutely smashing Geelong. Carlton smashing Essendon, and then Collingwood smashing Melbourne yesterday.
See, Collingwood-Melbourne was another one where I thought it could have been a little bit tighter.
Should have probably been a bit tighter. I mean, even the Essendon-Carlton game probably should have been a bit tighter. But they are all the games. Of course, yes, North Melbourne are finally on the winners list after 13 long rounds. But Callum, now to have a look at our tipping to see how we are going and how everyone in the tipping competition is going. And if we look to us first, we can see Kale and Mags, last week they were sitting in 335th position on 64 points. Well,
jeez, laughable. What are they doing?
Well, they have gone down to 388th spot.
Wow. Yeah, there's a point where you just fall off the ladder. You go so low. It's too greasy and your hands slip.
So they only got one tip correct this week. Then if you look at us, we were sitting 329th spot on 64 points. Well, we've clawed back a little bit, Callum. We are now in 273rd spot.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, not great stuff, but...
Well, it's better than what it was before. You know, we're improving.
Yeah, so now we're on 69 points. Few tips right there. I think we got 5 correct. And then Taylor on 359th last week. She's clawed back to 315th. So she's done a bit better as well this week. She is sitting on 68 points after being on 63.
Yeah.
Now to look at who's leading the ladder, Callum.
All right, let's go into it.
Now, this is a big one because we've had some information that our number one spot, Zach B, or Bucks, is actually Zach Buck from Woodville West Torrens, the Sandful team.
So we got this intel and we're thinking about it and we're like, well, we hope it is and that's the correct information. It's not just someone with the same name that doesn't play football. So we are curious on that.
He has played 43 league career matches in the SANFL at 21 years of age. Zach Buck, it looks like he is our top spot right now on 83 points. 2 points ahead of Kelly R, who who's been up there all season so far. She's there on 81 points. And in third place, tied, is Kyle H, or Geelong 03 on 79. And he's tied with fourth, Captain Tuck, Andrew T. So that is a tight competition still up there at the front. Who's going to take home this $1,000?
Jeez, these guys are smashing it. $1,000 too. It's a lot on the line.